Welcome to the Rebel to Succeed podcast. It's your boy Anthony Williams, the founder of rebeltosucceed.com. The purpose of this podcast is to share tips, advice, and strategies to help you improve in all areas of your life. My mission is to make a positive difference in your life to help you live your best life. Now let's get it. What up, Rebels? It's your boy Ant from Rebel to Succeed coming at you with another podcast episode. So today in this podcast episode, I want to share some critical information by none other than Brian Tracy. I know Brian Tracy was on a podcast before. And first off, for anybody who don't know who Brian Tracy is very critical to your road to success. That's right out the bat. Very critical. He shares a lot of good information. A lot of information that I know for sure that you're going to need. And he's a pioneer in the self-development industry. Pioneer. Almost like an OG. You know what I mean? So I want to share this quick clip by him. A very important clip. It shares one of the main... This clip shares one of the main ingredients to success, and I want you guys to check out this clip by Brian Tracy.
I'm always being asked, what are the habits of successful people? What is it that successful people do habitually every single day that leads to them being in the top 20% of money earners in our society? Well, Aristotle said that 95% of everything you do is the result of habit. So the rule is form good habits and make them your masters, rather than allowing bad habits to form. In fact, the other rule says this, is that good habits are hard to form, but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form, but hard to live with. Now, one of the turning points in my life and my studies of psychology was the discovery that all habits are learned and can be unlearned. Actually, you don't actually unlearn a habit. You simply replace a bad habit with a good habit that has more power and impact. And how do you develop a good habit? You develop a habit by repetition. Almost everything you do from the time you get up in the morning is habit. So start to think about yourself. What would be the best habits to have? Now, I have written a book called $1 Million Habits. It has 12 chapters, 12 critical areas of life. And in each chapter, there's 20 or 30 habits. So let me give you some of the best. Number one, develop the habit of daily goal setting and goal orientation. What does this mean? It means when you go to sleep at night, think about your goals for the coming day. Make a list for each day of all the goals, the little goals you're going to accomplish that day. Keep a journal and write down your goals on a regular basis. When you're driving through the day, think about your goals. When you're talking to other people, think about your goals. You see, you do become what you think about most of the time. You do achieve what you think about most of the time. So all successful people and all wealthy people think about their goals most of the time. Second of all, be results-oriented. Now, results-oriented people are always thinking of the most important things that they can do right now to achieve their most important results. Successful people make a list of everything they have to do, and before they start working, they set priorities on the list. Here's a great way to become result-oriented. Actually, it's life-changing. Ask yourself, once you have your list for the day, if I could only do one thing on this list before I was called out of town for a month, what one activity would I want to be sure to get completed? And put a circle around that and start on that activity immediately, first thing, and then discipline yourself to work nonstop until you complete that one activity. This simple technique has taken people from rags to riches all over the world for at least 100 years. Pick your most important task and start on it immediately, and then discipline yourself to stay with it until it's complete. Another habit that you can establish is to become people-oriented. Recognize that everything that you achieve in life is going to be with the help or support or cooperation of other people. So always think, what is it that other people want and need from me? How can I help other people so they'll want to help me back? If you're in sales, top salespeople think about their customers all the time. They think about who their customers are and what their customers want and how they can help them the most and how they can help them even more today. In their relationships, successful people are very focused on the most important people in their worlds, both personal and in business. Another habit you can have is to stay health-oriented. Think about your health most of the time. Think about eating less food and better food. Think about daily exercise. Think about getting lots of rest. Remember, to be successful in our competitive world, you need a lot of energy. To have a lot of energy, you've got to eat good foods, get lots of rest, and exercise all the time. One of the most important habits is that of character and honesty, is always tell the truth no matter what the price. And the final characteristic, the final habit, is that of self-discipline. And I have written and spoken upon this for years and years and years, but self-discipline seems to be the foundation habit that makes everything else possible. And the best definition of self-discipline is that self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. You see, anybody can do it if they feel like it. It's when you don't feel like it and you do it anyway that you eventually develop the self-discipline that makes everything else possible. Thank you for watching. What is the one habit that you should start to develop right now that will help you more than any other habit to achieve your most important goals?
So that was a clip by Brian Tracy. All right, so first off, I know that you guys, you pretty much understand the gist of what he's saying as far as habits. Habits, 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 habits. This theory on habits, it's not even really a theory. I can't say a theory, but this whole thing on habits. If you're not practicing good habits, if you're not practicing healthy habits, if you're not practicing success habits, if you're not practicing rich habits, then you're not going to achieve any of those things. Success boils down to your actions. It all boils down to what you do. And what you do, your behavior, your actions trigger, it triggers certain things within you, and it triggers, things around you that's within your reality to help you get to your end goal. So you have to realize how important your action is. I know a lot of you probably have heard a lot of people talk about, take massive action, take massive action, take massive action. I know you've heard that plenty of times. Take massive action. It's not just, it's not just for people to be saying that. People are not saying that for nothing. Action is very important. I read this article one time, and the article was talking about how the universe rewards action, not thoughts. The universe rewards action, not thoughts. And it was a article about how somebody was they was trying to figure out something, and they had an audience, and they only could figure out how to do something based off of the audience reaction. So um whenever they would, do something, the audience would whenever they would do something positive, the audience would um, you know, make like positive, they give them basically positive feedback, like, applause. But if they did something negative, then the audience wouldn't do anything. You know what I mean? And you had to figure out, what you were doing, or basically you had to figure out um your or figure out your road to success based off of the audience reactions, right? So the audience represented the universe, and the person represented you. And I'm not sure in that article what the person was trying to achieve, but I do remember that the representation of the audience being the universe and the person being yourself, and you had to basically listen. It wanted you to listen to the audience. It wanted you to listen to the universe, but the only way you could, you was able to get feedback is, when you took action, right? So you only get feedback when you take action. You only get feedback when you take action. So the fundamental, you guys know my favorite quote, the um, fundamental key to success is action. That's the fundamental key, right? You got to take action. So a lot of successful people, they put this action on autopilot, you know, because they practice very, very, very successful habits. They practice very successful habits. And what they do is they allow their habits to help take them to um the success that they have planned out for themselves. They allow their habits to take them to be able to meet their goals, rather. So when you have healthy habits, and you have positive habits, and you have success habits, and you what you're doing with the habits is you're allowing your subconscious mind to basically put your life on autopilot. So you really don't think about the things that you do, as far as like when you go and you tie your shoe. You're not worried about how you do it. You just do it the same way, and your subconscious mind is basically taking over, because um it's a habit. It's just an ingrained action that you do in your brain, within yourself, and you really don't have to think about it much. When you do something and you don't have to think about it too much, that's a habit. So you want to be able to do or develop certain habits that allow you not to be able to really think about what you're doing. That's just pushing you towards just your success without you even having to really think about it. And that's the power of the habits. You know what I'm saying? So I really hope you guys found some type of I hope you found some type of value out of this clip by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is one of the greatest OG in the self development space. You guys need to go check out his channel on YouTube. Like he's a beast, you know. He's a beast. He's an OG, straight up OG, and he's been around for a long time, and he has studied a lot of the most successful people. He studied successful people, man. Anybody who studied successful people, who basically studied success, they know what they talk about when it comes to, you achieving success. Like, that's the best way for you to be able to learn about success is you study successful people. You go and you study the people who already have what you want. And this is what Brian Tracy has done. He's done something sort of like, um, Napoleon Hill, and or even like Darren Hardy, one of my favorite guys. One of the he's the author of The Compound Effect. This guy is he's like the editor of Success Magazine. So he talks with and interviews successful people all the time. So they know what they're talking about when it comes to you reaching goals and achieving success in your life. And they all talk about habits. All of them. You got to have successful habits to be able to reach goals, to be successful in reaching your goals. Like, I'll put it to you like this. Sometimes your mind can limit you. It can hold you back because you're thinking too much. You know what I mean? And what you want to get to a point to where as though you're not even really thinking too much. Like your subconscious mind and your habit is just taking over. You're not even thinking, you're just doing. And what did we say earlier? The universe rewards actions, not thought. You're going to get results back when you take action. So you want to be taking a lot of action towards your goal and not even really be thinking about it all the while you're getting all of these results, and you can adjust and, do what you got to do to be able to reach your goals. So, there it is, man. Hopefully you guys found value in this clip. I know I did. Brian Tracy, again, I said, he's one of the best. And he has a lot of information to share as far as you being successful and reaching your goals. So I want you guys to go and leave a review. Share your thoughts on, your habits. You can share that in a review. What you do, to continue to be successful. Share some of your successful habits. You already know, go to the website, rebeltosucceed.com. Check out the content there. And last but not least, be a rebel. Reach everybody by exercise and love. Show somebody some love today. Be a positive force in the world today. Make a difference somehow. And just be an all-around positive person. You know what I mean? Be a rebel in the flesh. And it's your boy Ant from Rebel to Succeed. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. I want to thank you for joining me today and listening to this podcast. If you found this episode helpful or valuable in any way, then I encourage you to leave an honest review and subscribe to the Rebel to Succeed podcast for future episodes. To receive more content and value, make sure to visit the Rebel to Succeed website at www.rebeltosucceed.com. And finally, always remember that to succeed in life, you have to reach everyone by exercising love. So make sure to show somebody some love today. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you next time.